You're watching Bali News Now for all the news you need to know, don't need to know, and possibly already knew. But first, introducing your host, Russell Woodgate.
And hello everyone and welcome to this show. This show we're going to talk about news, we're going to talk about fishing, and we're also going to catch up with Carly about our little competition that we had last week about who was Bali's best lover. That means how many times perhaps you came into Bali from Australia. We need to know that. So Carly, are you there?
Hi Russ, I am here, and we did indeed find out from last show who our biggest Bali lovers were, who had the most holidays to Bali so far.
Okay, let's see. Hit me with some names.
Well, I had to pick a top three because the numbers were pretty impressive. Coming in third place was Tony Cronshaw with a massive 42 holidays to Bali so far.
42.
Yeah, 42 trips to Bali, 42 holidays to Bali. And then in first place was a tie between Julie Turner and Leanne Potter, who have actually been so many times they've lost count, but they are both sure that it is over 50 trips to Bali from Australia.
Up the frequent flyer points.
Yeah, I imagine they should have plenty, and there was probably plenty of nasi goreng consumed during those trips as well, I imagine.
Ding tang. Good going, guys. Awesome. All right. Bali in the headlines. Let's talk news. Squats on the beach. Influencers. What are they doing?
So the influencers in Bali, meaning the people with the Instagram accounts that are here to get content for their accounts and post it. There was a bit of a viral video this week it was posted on an account called the Canggu Poll. Ultimately, these people were trying to get, obviously, some footage for their Instagram accounts of them working out on the beach in Bali, but unfortunately, it was in a really insensitive way, I guess. Russ, you've been to Bali. I know it doesn't take long to figure out when people are performing religious ceremonies here. You've seen that, I'm sure.
Yes, I have. And as beautiful as it is, and as much as I like to watch it, it is a private thing. So I kind of leave them be.
Yeah. I think, well, what this footage showed is just probably a bit of cultural insensitivity where you see the ladies they're all dressed in their ceremony outfits and they're preparing for a religious ceremony. And then on the other hand, you have the Instagrammers in their tiny swimwear and filming. So I think it's important for all of us to be culturally aware of when we're visiting another country of their customs and traditions and what is appropriate behaviour, which I don't think that was.
Bali governor says that he will not be pressured into opening Bali very soon.
Yeah, look, this story ran in the Sun, I believe, this week. I think I think the governor was trying to say that of course, everybody here is longing for tourism to be opened, but he wants to make sure that it's done properly and it's only done one time. So he's saying, although everybody is pressuring him now, open up Bali, he wants to make sure that Bali is prepared and ready for the reopening post-COVID. I don't think it's in any way him saying we're going to delay it deliberately.
No, he's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's got businesses that really want to get going. We've got tourists that want to come over and start spending money. So he's got to make the right decision.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing this worldwide at the moment. I mean, I'm watching the news on Australia, and the same thing's happening with the Queensland border. Does it open? Doesn't it? It's this thing that the pandemic has caused. It's this balance between making health decisions and making economic decisions, and finding that balance there.
Let's talk fishing. Fishing on your mind?
Yeah.
It is on mine.
I'm not the biggest fisher, but I do get asked about fishing a lot. And from our first episode, we had one of our viewers write in and tell us about this amazing fishing guide here in Bali. So I reached out to him and got in contact with him. His name is Quol, and Quol does some really amazing fishing tours here in Bali. He does family fishing. He does trawling. But I think that the main thing he does is called, and I learned something new, it's called GT popping, which is where you go for the giant trevally.
Oh, wow.
Here in Bali.
Dunk Q fishing charters.
Dunk Q fishing charters. Let's take a look. I got Quol to give us some of the footage of what he does here and what the Aussies love to do when they go fishing here in Bali. So let's check that out.
All right, let's have a look.
So a lot of Australians, they come to Bali and they want to try the experience fishing with me, and they want to try GT popping because some part of Australia you can't, they don't have a GT, so they want to get the experience fishing with me as a local fishing guide to do GT popping, especially for giant trevally. This is like a top water trophy for popping. And the biggest GT that I caught is about like 50 kilo. So so normally afraid that we caught about like 10 kilo up to like 25-30 kilo. And also you can try a different technique like trolling for my mahi, and then jigging, other stuff, so we can try.
Wow, big fish.
Yeah, so that looks really exciting. I know a lot of people who are going to enjoy checking that out. So I will put in the caption all of Quol's contact details. He has a YouTube channel and how to get in contact with him if you would like to try some fishing when you come to Bali next.
Look, I haven't done a lot of fishing, but looking at that, I want to start. Really awesome.
Yeah.
All right, question.
I'm not confident I could pull in a 50k fish, but I'm sure Quol would be able to help if we got that lucky.
All right, let's have a look at some questions. You ready, Carl?
Okay, throw me this week's question.
All right, this one's from Tammy, Facebook. What's she got to say here? She says, some people think in Bali that the COVID ended in January.
I think what Tammy is getting at here, and this actually is a big conversation, not ended in January. I think a lot of people have, there's a lot of discussion here that possibly COVID peaked here in January when we actually didn't have any confirmed cases on the island. This is being talked about a lot on the expat pages around here because during December and January, we actually did have lots and lots of people here sick with a really bad flu. So the questioning is, was that COVID? Because COVID wasn't being tested for at that time.
Flu-like symptoms.
Yeah, so even I had friends in, that were international school teachers that had only half the kids at school, almost the whole of January. So that's kind of a theory. Whether that has any legs to it, I don't know, but it certainly is being talked about, and I think that's what Tammy is referring to there in her question.
All right, let's talk. Nathan has sent something in. He'd like to know about the beach clubs. Are they open at the moment?
Well, the beach clubs, obviously the beach club scene here is huge in Bali, and we've seen so many beach clubs open over the last couple of years. At the moment, there are only a few open. The big players being The Edge, which is the beautiful big beach club with the pool that juts out over the edge of the cliff. The Edge, the Lawn in Canggu, and La Brisa, they are all open, but not to what you would remember them as the party clubs that some of them were. They were all applying social distancing, and I think they're just open, getting some revenue in, giving a venue for people to go and spend the day. But it's not the big party crowds that you probably remember from some of the beach club days pre-COVID.
And that 180 club looks awesome. Wow, can't wait to get there.
It's pretty stunning.
You've been there and you've had a good look around?
Yeah. Look, it's the actual club itself has been there for a long time, and then it's called the Edge, where you can stay in the villas, and then they've built on the 180 Beach Club, so it's probably one of the more exclusive places on the island.
And the bintang is cold.
Very cold, and much more than bintang. There, you can get a really extensive wine list and some really fabulous cocktails as well. So it is a nice way to spend a COVID day here.
Can't wait to get there. Carly, that's it for today, for this show. Something special we're going to do on the next show. Would you like to give us a little tip on what's going to happen on that one?
Look, we're trying to let's check Bali internet, but we're going to try and come to you from a one of my favorite locations, actually, to spend some of my time here in Bali. So hopefully we can make that happen on Saturday, if the internet gods are good to us. And don't forget to send us in any of your questions. So we've been getting some really interesting questions. If I'm not answering them on the show, I am answering them to you in private. So you can send those messages. We'll choose a couple to address on the show.
And I'm still interested to find out whether we've got someone that's been to Bali more than 50 times.
Yeah,
so maybe we can keep an eye on that over the next few weeks. Yeah.
Julian and Leanne lost count, so they're somewhere over the 50 mark. But yeah, if you've got anyone else holidaying more than that, I would like to see their frequent flyer status.
So, look, thanks very much for being part of the show. Hopefully, we'll see you all again on Saturday with something special. Until then.
Thanks, Russ. See you.
Cheerio.